Hey everybody, what's up? It's Alex over at Laser Everything, and today we're going to be talking about some products to stock in your shop for back to school. I'm about to reopen my laser engraving shop, and I need some products that are seasonally relevant. And since I've dropped out of high school multiple times, I've brought Matt along to help me out choosing some items that are going to be good for the upcoming quarter. Don't go anywhere because we're getting started right now.
Pretty good.
All right, guys, so we've got a lot to cover today and very little time to cover it. What's up, dude?
Not too much, man. Yeah, I've been teaching for 17 years now. I've got a pretty good grip on what'll work. Hopefully it helps you guys make a quick ROI for quarter three, getting ready for quarter four.
Couple notes before we get started, guys. We are stocking the shop actively right now with the items we're about to talk about because we are reopening the shop. We're going to have a ton more content coming out, all about stocking the shop and getting it set up and ready to go. Rhiannon's going to be here in like 7 days, and you guys are going to see firsthand all of the steps that we have to take still to get the shop actually up and running. There's a ton of content coming out about that soon. The other thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is while this video is sponsored by Johnson Plastics Plus, and thank you, Johnson Plastics Plus, for sponsoring this video, they don't pay us to have particular opinions about anything, and 99% of this stuff is stuff that either I or Matt have used, and you're hearing our raw, unbiased opinion about it. We don't get paid to have certain opinions or review something one way or the other. If we don't like something, we're more than capable of saying we don't like it without upsetting them. It's totally our call. So I just wanted to be transparent about that before we got started.
All right. Yeah, all right. Let's jump in. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's hop into the list. We've got 20 items for you guys to help you have a successful back to school. The very first thing that we've got for you guys is the Rowmark message board engraving plastic. Alex started the channel with the Rowmark, so tell us, what have you done with this before, man?
Dude, this particular product is super cool. We added this one to this list at the last minute. So there's 3 different variants you can get. There's a pine green, a black, and a bright white. And the black and the pine green are actually like faux chalkboard material, and they're awesome. You can cut just about any shape out of chalkboard that you could possibly imagine. The way that we used them was not necessarily back to school, but we did them for like kids' door hangers. I guess you could use them on like lockers. I mean, people like would frame mirrors with them. I've seen this stuff used all kinds of ways. So if you can think of a creative way to cut and execute with chalkboard, the green and the black here have you covered. Additionally, there is the bright white, which is more of like a dry erase board. One of the biggest sales I had in my first year was a teacher that wanted reusable whiteboards for each of her students. Huge. Yeah, so we ended up engraving the classroom name and classroom number into the whiteboard. It's just white all the way through, so it wasn't a high contrast thing, but the name of the classroom and the teacher were engraved onto the board, and then we just cut them out. She wanted them a specific size. We cut like 30 of them out. We made a bunch of money on it, and it was so simple, right? It was literally just rectangles cut out of this dry erase material. So
to add to what he's saying, notice that there's 2 different thicknesses here. So you could buy the 1/16 much cheaper, and you could actually put some adhesive on the back if you have some, like if you've got a stock of adhesive laying around, and you could put this on some MDF to keep it really cheap. But honestly, for a few bucks more, you can get the 1/8. As a teacher, I can tell you we've done all kinds of stuff using this with small groups, with pairs, anytime the students have to work together to create like a rough draft of something and erasing it. And that's just in English. I know math and science do the same thing. So this is something that from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, they're using. Definitely think it'd be a great product to purchase for sure. Yeah. All right, moving on to the next one. We have linen zipper bags. If you're wondering about, I thought this was all gonna be laser stuff. These actually can be marked on. Alex is gonna talk about it, but it's from a sublimation standpoint. I did get the Epson F170 this year, and I'm really excited for that because these are such easy money makers. This is a 5-pack for $9.95, so it's like $2 a piece, and you can do stuff like this. My daughter is so excited to get her name in something cool. We actually went on to Midjourney, and she put in a prompt for like some kind of a warrior princess, and just like our hat got some color on it this year, and it looks really cool. This is something else I'm really excited to do, not only for my daughter, but I know there's plenty of other kids who want this kind of stuff. And so this isn't, or even teachers. My God, there's teachers who like to have their name on their stuff. This is something that's really easy. It's really cheap. Just saying. So tell us about how would you mark these, dude?
Yeah, I mean, you can mark them super easily. The fiber's not going to do it, but a CO2 diode or UV is going to work with these. You get a really nice natural kind of burned, charred look on it. It takes it from like the white-ish linen color to like a golden brown or brown. Super easy. If you put too much power onto one of these, it's going to catch on fire. So just don't do that. Slowly work your way up until you get the color you want, and then save that setting, and you're going to be in great shape. You can engrave whatever you want on these.
Yeah, I bet you if you have a CO2 Galvo, this will be like super quick and easy.
Yep.
We have the Saddle Collection clipboard. So this is 8.5 by 12.25.
Have you ever held a clipboard and been like, man, this needs some more fake skin on it? If so,
yeah, actually,
the Saddle Collection clipboard is for you.
Well, what's really nice, and I will tell you, anybody who's ever worked with students or other teachers, like you're all the time moving around the school. For example, there's one day where I was in my room for 1 hour. The next 2 hours I was in the library. The next hours I was in the gymnasium. And you go all around. And when you find a clipboard, you keep the clipboard. You don't sit there and go like, oh, I wonder whose this is, because it's yours now. Right? It's mine. So if I've got my name on the back of this thing, or I'm the sponsor of the kickboxing club, like you see here, it's not going to go anywhere. Like, people know where to find this. And I would literally put on there, return to room 555. For $7, you could do a really quick, easy $20. I think this is $20 all day, right?
Yeah. At the minimum.
It's going to last a long time. I have, anybody who has the patched leather hats, you guys know this stuff is very durable. So it can take a beating pretty good.
And if you're not familiar with this stuff, we actually just published a huge episode about it on the channel that you can go watch, where we mark it with every single laser in the shop. Every single one. And we got at a minimum a decent result on every single one. But most of them came out excellent. So you can really see the power of this stuff in that episode, and we'll link to that in the description for you to check out too.
Yeah, and this is not something where you have to have a special machine. Like Alex said in that video, you've got the infrared, you've got the blue laser, you've got the CO2, the UV, and the diode. Like, they're all there. This is the rainbow pack. This is the one that the link will take you to. But what's really cool is there are so many different packs here. There's holiday, fall, summer, aqua. So all these,
you get like some different swatches to choose from in there.
Yeah, and you'll notice that this package is the most expensive. That's because you get the most product in it. So you literally get, what do you got? White, black, red, blue, purple, orange, yellow, green. You get the whole skew of colors. The rest of these are pretty much half the price because you only get half of the amount of material. So definitely play with these. You can make some really cool stuff. Teachers might want their names. They might want door signs, because we do have to put certain things in our rooms. So I think this would be really, really easy product.
I would love to see the sample images really quick. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, so putting on my maker brain, I look at this, and this is something where you can apply this to the MDF. So think back to the video that we made this year where it's like using color without painting. And what I did was I took white MDF and I cut to create like a negative space for what I wanted the white to be. And so this is where you could literally laser cut some white MDF and put the words on it. You could match the plastic to the MDF so that the white space is the negative space beneath. There's a lot of really neat things you could do to play with this. And
getting creative with layering.
The other thing too is, even though it's back to school, it's also fall.
Cool.
There's a lot of stuff going on this year. Lots of things you can do with this. There's a lot of parents who are wanting things for their kids, like stencils is actually a really cool idea for this too. And again, this would be great, like I said, for door signs for teachers. We have to identify who we are on our doors. And a lot of teachers like to have something colorful, so that when kids are looking for them with passes, it's really easy to find them. If you are a teacher, you know about tote bags, because if you teach, then you tote. It's the truth, though, man. Like, every year you go back.
If you teach, you tote.
Dude, you do.
That's a GIF. I'm making that one a GIF.
If you teach, you tote. So here's the deal. This is a really great thing. The reason I think this is really good, it's $7 for a 15-inch by 17-inch bag. And that's pretty big. That's enough to put the notebooks in, a couple of books, and then some personal belongings. And what's really nice is this is the kind of item that the entire school will want. So this is something where when you think about back to school, I'm not talking about the kids. I'm talking about the teachers and the administrators who like, hey, we need like a $15 or $20 item that we can give people to get them excited when they come back to work. This is something that you could slap some Leatherette on. Alex already said that canvas is engravable with the CO2 if you can work on that to figure out the settings. So this is where you can get the graphic for the school logo and very easily put this on there, even with that little tiny pink CP912, which is the 9-inch by 12-inch heat press that I got. That's something that you could put these on all day long and easily sell these for $15 to $20 a piece. And for like 25 cents worth of paper and about 15 or 20 cents worth of ink and a heat press, make yourself double the money back. So
one of the nice things about everything that Matt has added to the list so far, too, guys, is that they're so inexpensive that these make great giveaway items. Matt's talked a lot in the past about how sometimes it only takes printing or engraving one tote bag and dropping it off to a principal or a teacher that, you know, to get your foot in the door and start scoring larger orders from places like this. So, you know, when you're paying $7 to make a tote bag for one person who works at a school, that is a very, very small overhead for a very easy way to walk into a place like this and show what you can do.
Yeah, exactly right. The other thing too is the Parent-Teacher Association. So think about that. It's not only the kids who are going back to school, it's the parents who want to represent their school because they're proud of their kid. There's so many ways that you can take this $7 and make money with it. The next one is the Saddle Collection Laserable Leather-like Notebook. This is an easy win for any teacher. Again, for $8 a piece, this is something that principals could buy easily. So you could do the entire school's worth of faculty and staff, and just for dropping off one or two of those or making them for the department heads of a school, that's a big thing. Because at Christmas time, usually department heads will try to come up with gifts for their teachers. So I know my English and reading department was 33 people, I think, 32 to 33 people. So even if only one department got that, that's some good money. What do you got?
Nothing. They're pretty. And I'll just mention again to check out the Saddle Collection Leatherette episode on the channel, because it really does show you great settings for this leatherette. And they do come out really, really nice on just about every kind of laser. No matter what kind of laser you have, whether you spent $400 on it or $40,000 on it, you can get a nice mark out of this material. So I'd highly encourage you to check it out.
This is a really easy one. I'll let Alex talk about this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was eating French fries.
Fucking idiot. These are the leather engravable bookmarks, and these are actually die-cut leather. You can actually do this with any laser. If you look down here, compatible with 25 watts and higher laser systems. These things are made to last, and the good thing about these is they're very quick and easy for a couple bucks a piece. It's a really cool item you can make for a school. I don't know what else to say about this. What do you got?
It's reading is fundamental. Fundamental. I don't know. They're bookmarks, guys. There you go.
Yeah, you talk about this one.
Have you guys seen the first episode of Laser Everything Ever? Because we engraved this stuff. It's the Black Galaxy Rowmark Naturals, and they actually make a ton of different variants of the Rowmark Naturals, and they're different from the other Rowmark sheets because they actually have like a natural texture based on what they're trying to emulate. So the wood ones have a wood grain pattern to them. The Galaxy Black is actually like a granite, like a faux granite. And one of the first things we actually used this for was to make a park dedication sign. So, of course, I picked up the 1/8. As Matt was saying earlier, the 1/8 is substantially more supportive when you're using it for signage and you're not going to have a backer. And we cut and engraved a dedication sign that is still sitting at that park to this day. So it's really cool. It looks like there's just a granite slab sitting there where this dedication is. There's a ton of different uses for it, as you can see on the screen here that Matt's flipping through some of these images, and it's just got a really nice natural look to it. I think a lot of schools would love this kind of stuff for some of their outdoor facilities and even indoor uses. If it matches the aesthetic that whoever is purchasing this is going for, it's a good choice for you and it's going to last a long time. So this, again, first episode of Laser Everything Ever. I'll link it in the description for kicks. It's not that good. It's super old, but you can see it in action. It's just an awesome product, and it's what turned me on to Johnson Plastics Plus to begin with. So I would definitely recommend this one for you guys.
One thing too, so student bag tags. So take a look at this. This is something I made really good money on last year, where basically I just posted a 3-inch by 1-inch bag tag, and it has the student name, it's got the teacher name, and it's got the room number. You can supply them with some type of a key ring for a quarter or so, and basically that goes on their book bag for the whole year. They really need those because students leave things all the time. And I actually used not the naturals, but I used the red Rowmark 1/8, and I made a sign for my son who's allergic to peanuts and where his EpiPen is in the school, because there's multiple EpiPens that we have for him.
This is another one where the Rowmark stuff is really, really great if you're new to this. When we were in our first year of business again, and it was that fall season, all I had was the OMTech. I didn't even have a fiber laser yet. And so I was pretty restricted as far as what I could cut and mark. And being able to do bag tags like this, that was one of the first things that we ever put on our Etsy shop when we were trying to get our business going. It's really, really good if you're just getting started and you need something that makes your work seem a little bit fancier than it maybe is on the surface. You know, this has like that kind of sparkle and finish to it that usually would require more advanced tech. Yeah.
And what's really nice too, again, if you're thinking about, will I get my money back on a product? Because this is that return on investment we talked about. A 12 by 24 inch piece with the 1/16, which is great for bags, is $24. When you think about 3 inch by 1 inch and you put those onto that, you're going to be able to get a huge return on your investment when these are $5 a piece with that simple name of the teacher, name of the kid, and the room number. So
12 by 24 is huge.
Yep.
It's big. It doesn't sound big when you're just sitting here reading it on the page, but when you have that much material to work with, that you can get a lot out of that.
Great products. Moving on, we'll go to the next one, is another type of Rowmark. Schools require all kinds of signage for emergency type stuff. So basically like fire exits, you need to have things for hard corners nowadays because of school shootings, unfortunately. And so this is a really easy way to denote that and for kids to know, and just having like a piece of this around for those kind of events or for those types of things, the more creative side instead of like the industrial side. These can make really great bag tags for schools that have multiple colors.
Nice.
All right, moving on. School means awards, man. Brush Gold Rowmark Flexibrass is just money in the bank. So this is where
a classic. Yeah,
this is where you buy a trophy for $5 or $6. You put this on there with the kid's name and the year and the school or whatever sport they're working on, and that $5 trophy becomes a $15 trophy, easy. From experience, I have used the brush gold to black, and I've used the trophy gold to black. I kind of like the brush gold. I always try to tell people about that one. Anything else you want to mention here?
For the customers that didn't want to spend the money on brass, like actual brass, we used the European gold, which was really great. And Flexibrass is awesome, but if you think that it's going to be somewhere where it's going to see some wear and tear and some handling, Rowmark also makes the regular Rowmark too from the Lasermax line. So that does great as well. If you need something a little heftier as an alternative to this, you can also find those variants from regular Rowmark too. So I'd check that out also.
12 by 24 for $20. This is such an easy return on your investment. This is money in your pocket.
Faux metal Rowmark stuff in general, this is the kind of stuff that you just need to have on hand in your shop. I'm pretty against keeping stock. I'm not a stock keeper, but this is one of those things where just having a sheet of this laying around has been a lifesaver multiple times.
I really am impressed with these Unisub white MDF plaques. I see them all around town, and I've had so many teachers who I show them these kind of plaques where they've got the brass behind it and it's metal and it's on a really nice piece of wood. And these are expensive. Not everybody can afford these. So this is much bigger. I think this is 8 by 10. And so taking a look at this, these would actually probably be similar priced. So this small plaque versus this big plaque. So we figured you could probably get $50 to $60 for either one of these. And that's something that you should consider when you're talking to the customers, giving them options. If you have a team picture and the coach wanted a team picture, this is a really nice thick plaque that also has the ability to hang it vertically or horizontally. And so this could easily be something that you do a team picture on for the coach. So there's so much application with these. The one that we've got here is the smaller one, and these actually have a beveled edge to it, kind of like the plaque that we just showed. There is the one that's flat, which is a more modern look to it, and there's also this beveled edge, which is a little more like the classic. And these go anywhere from 5 by 7 for $4 all the way up to the 8 by 10s or 9 by 12s. All right, guys, so another type of Rowmark, and if you're sitting here wondering why we're showing you so much Rowmark, it's because because it is literally one of the most versatile products in our list. And we're trying to show you the different varieties that you can get, because I feel like this is something that isn't talked about. Like, you see it, you hear about it, but we don't really talk about it on the channel very much. It's important to me to make sure you guys know how to order this. So first off, the colors, no duh, that's easy. Look for the colors that are going to sell near you, for example, school colors. But I want to make sure you guys notice this stuff down here, which everybody seems to kind of forget about. So when you're ordering from JP Plus, who has the largest selection of Rowmark and colored plastics, what you look at is the thickness. So 1/32 is almost like an applique. These are the things that are really, really thin, and they go on other types of substrate. So you might actually adhere them to MDF or some plywood or something like that. You'll notice that when we clicked 1/32, there's far fewer options. So just be really mindful of that kind of stuff when you're working with your customers and clients, that they only have a few colors for that. 1/16 is the most color that you can get, because 1/16 is probably the most flexible usage of it. And again, 1/8 has more rigidity. So if you were making something that was going to be like attached to a wall or some type of signage, 1/8 would be where you'd want to go, unless you did the applique like we talked about on top of another substrate. And the other thing too is the size that you order. So this is really important on the cost. Make sure that you realize which size you're ordering. It goes anywhere from 1 foot to 2 foot, all the way up to 2 foot by 4 foot. And some of these can even be ordered in demo sizes, which is really cool. Or if you have a smaller laser bed, a 12 by 20, you can have the adhesive already applied, which is great, because a whole roll of tape can cost you anything from $80 if you're buying like dual tight, all the way up to probably like $300 for some of the 3M. So there's a lot of options here, and this can save you the money, and it's already added into the cost when you give a quote to your customers and clients.
The next item up is black lacquer coated plaques, guys, and these are amazing. We're always recommending you go check out customengravingplates.com for smaller plaques and little bits and pieces of metal. One of the most popular things they sell over there are black lacquer coated plates. This is the full size plaque form of that, and they come in both a gold undercolor and a silver undercolor. They're super easy to engrave through with just about any kind of laser, because it is a black lacquer, so the absorption is great across the entire laser spectrum, and when you're done, it looks super professional. Matt was showing one off earlier in the video here. This is like the standard for awards, guys. This is what allows laser engraving shops to compete with regular awards and trophy shops. People come in and they ask for these. That's a no-brainer, especially at $9.71 a piece.
They actually start even cheaper than that. So these do go 5 by 7 all the way up to 8.5 by 11.
Wow.
These easily come back 4 times their value, 3 to 4 times their value.
At the least, minimum.
Yeah. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Good item.
Edit that out. I hope you're going to keep that. I know you are. God damn. All right, so the one that we just looked at with Alex was the original series plate, and it's actually got some of this treatment around the edges, and so that's something that you like. That's cool, but not everybody wants that embellishment, and so if they don't, then they can be using this Simplicity series plaque plate. If they're going for a nice, clean, classic look, this is it. The Simplicity series is a little bit cheaper, you'll notice. $6 is where they start, and they go up to $10 for a 7 by 10. The one thing that we haven't talked about so far, though, is the actual plaque base, and so this is one of the cheapest ones that you can find around. The laminated cherry plaque base is literally what I use with all. It doesn't matter what color. This is usually what people want. So for those of you who don't know, laminated versus solid wood, this is not real cherry wood. This is MDF that's been laminated or coated. And so make sure that your customers are aware of that, because if you mess up and give them this quote price, and then you find that they wanted the real cherry wood, it's going to cost you easily 4 or 5 times this per plaque.
They have a veneer, guys. It's like a sticker. It's not real.
Yeah, take a look. Zoom in. These are veneered. The corners have the MDF. It almost looks like cardboard right there. Even on the back right here, there would be no MDF particle board inside. It would just straight up be 100% solid wood. That being said, this is the standard item that people use whenever making plaques, and they come in a range anywhere from 5 by 7 all the way up to 12 by 15, and the sizes adjust accordingly with the prices. You can order them in cases to save a little bit of money.
These plaque bases are also really good for coming up with custom configurations. Think about how you can pair these plaques with other things we've talked about in this list so far. This is where that Flexibrass is going to come in, or the Rowmark Naturals could pair really, really well for this. Or if you need something like real deal heavy duty, go check out customengravingplates.com. Pick up a couple of those plaques and actually pair them with something like this. You can even get the little tiny brass screws and screw individual plaque plates into this for a, what do they call it when it's time?
Like a legacy plaque or
something like that, where you're like adding a plate each year. I mean, this is the kind of base where you can really start to build those kind of custom solutions for people's needs. So think about how you compare these with other things that we've talked about on this list.
You can actually do these with a fiber laser. Just playing around with it, I was able to find some settings. And so this is actually one that I made where the veneer with the fiber laser came out this really nice sand color, I guess I would call it. It's almost like a white sand. No extra money needed, no plaques needed. The sponsor really was trying to go as cheap as possible because she had reached her budget and she had a few extra dollars. And so just for playing around with some settings, I was able to provide them with some really cool products.
That's going to work nicer with the darker veneers than the lighter veneers, just to keep that in mind. But it's definitely something you can do. Yep. That looks really good.
Next up is an award medal that is sublimatable. Taking a look at this, we can do medals all day long with our fiber laser, and that's really cool. But if you think about how long it takes to do a custom individual engraved brass or copper piece, it's really lengthy and it makes the cost almost something where people can't afford it, especially when they're buying in bulk. One of the things to think about is this. This is a sublimatable piece for $3.44. You can grab one. You basically take it and it comes blank, as you can see here. And with, again, about a quarter's worth of paper, you could probably print and do 6 of these. And they come out with whatever graphic parent or coach has sent you. And boom, you're done. These are something you could easily charge $10 a piece for. The other thing that's really cool too is you can use this with your fiber laser on the back. If you wanted to customize it for like first place, second place, or top 5 or whatever, you could very quickly now on the back just do text. And that's really easy to add a couple of bucks extra. One more thing you'll notice about these is they do come in 3 different colors: bronze, silver, and gold. So that's something to consider. We're almost at the end, guys. Home stretch. This is one of the easiest things to grab. They're anodized dog tags for engraving, and they're $25.80 for a pack of 25. So it comes out to about $1 a piece. These are huge for back to school. So when we were talking about book bag tags earlier, this is a really easy way. If you've only got a fiber laser, this is something that you can easily throw a keychain loop through and put it onto the kid's book bag, and it does the same thing as the Rowmark. It doesn't even have to be something like a book bag tag. You can make something like this right here for allergies. So my son has a peanut allergy, like I told you guys earlier, so I made him this to take to school, and other parents have reached out to me looking for them because it has his name and it's got what the allergy is and where his EpiPen is.
To go along with these guys, there is another website that I'm just going to point out really quick. It's called ballchain.com, and guess what? You can get ball chains here, literally by the pound. You can order these ball chains. So if you need these, this is a great US based source for them, and you can get them in all colors and styles. So little bonus add-on goodie here for you. I'll make sure that we link this down in the description for you as well. But this pairs great with a ton of the stuff that we've covered in today's video. So go check out ballchain.com.
Okay, so one of the last awards we're going to talk about is the Vertical Crystal Award. So this is actually something you can get with Unisub or without Unisub for Teacher of the Year. That gets voted on pretty quickly. You want something different. You want something that stands out and something that highlights the teacher to really make them feel special. This is a really cool award for that.
To all the UV laser owners out there too, you can get this without the sublimation backing, and you can mark this directly with UV lasers, and that would look really, really cool as well for a very different look than you're going to see with the sublimations, but it's also an option. So if you have a UV laser, you can't get these without the backing, and you can mark these with the UV laser directly. Taking
it down a peg to something a little bit cheaper and something more for like a class. So basically, this is a great item for a class. My wife teaches kindergarten, and so this is something that I would make for her and her students, where basically they're Unisub white aluminum bookmarks. Teachers can use this for like awards. You can make this for an entire department, again, where people are buying 30 or 40 of these. And so for $2 a piece, these are something that are really easy to throw into the bag. Or this could be something too that you give away to teachers that has your information on it and it has a QR code. And anytime someone wants to order, they can easily go back to your website and find you to purchase more items.
And guess what, guys? They're aluminum, so you can engrave them too.
They are, but they're better with sublimation. If you're somebody who doesn't have a sublimation printer, that's the last thing on our list, right? So if you've been looking at any of these items, and Alex was like giving me crap about putting this on the list, but I'm telling you, if you are somebody who's been holding out on adding color to your shop, for $500, you can do it. So this is the $449 pack. I highly suggest getting the starter bundle. Reasons why you should buy from JP Plus, in my opinion, $450. But what's really cool is when you buy it from JP Plus, you get $100 in money to spend on the website for blanks, for items, whatever you need. To me, if you got the starter bundle for $50 more, you're getting all of the tape, you're getting the inks, you're getting the paper, but you're also getting a whole bunch of different items to try this out with. And you also still receive the $100 back.
You're getting way more in that starter bundle than $50 worth.
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
So, I mean, that's like a really big thing. I'm just looking up what this shit costs on Amazon. This is $499 on Amazon, and they don't give you $100 to spend on Johnson Plastics Plus. So getting that extra $100 too is an amazing deal. It's actually a real deal, not just some special gimmick. This is literally $100 to spend on JohnsonPlasticsPlus.com.
If you do purchase this machine or any of the items that you have seen on the show today, make sure that you use our code. It's YLR-ZDF, and you'll save 15% on them. You don't receive 15% off on machines like this, but again, the $100 that you're getting off is already 20% off the cost that you would pay if you went to Amazon or anywhere else. So just that alone, plus the support that you get from JP Plus as you set this machine up if you need it. And I think for 180 days, they support you too. So really a great investment, and hopefully it helps you guys this year as you make your way back into school and into Q4.
Well, thanks for the help, Matt. I really appreciate it. I definitely don't know anything about going back to school. All I do is leave school. So if we ever have a back to leaving school episode, I'll be your main host for that one. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Laser Everything. If you got value out of this episode, don't forget to smash the like button. Let everybody else know the content is good, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time we upload an episode. If you really, really love this one, guys, you can support Matt and I and everybody else over here at Laser Everything by checking out the Laser Master Academy. It's the #1 way to support the channel, and we have a bunch of stuff over there to help you along on your laser journey, including an amazing community just filled to the brim with people that love what they do and love helping people do it. If that is not so much your style and you're looking for something simpler, you can find out all the other ways you can support the channel over at lasereverything.net/support. For now, though, I think that's all I've got. Do you have anything else to add?
No, dude, I'm good.
Okay, well then, thank you guys so much for watching one more time, and we will see you in the next one. Finger gun.